let's talk a little bit more about this Barcelona team, because they needed to have that bounce back after a collapse in El Clasico the weekend prior, seeing players like Lamine Yamal stepping up, getting that opening goal.
Yeah.
What really impressed you about the way that Barcelona just took care of business today?
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't an easy game, and let's not forget that your opponent actually had more possession of the ball in this game as well. So we have to understand that there were also leaks that allowed the opportunities against them, but the quality offensively. Every single offensive-minded player for Barcelona had something to say in this game, whether it be a goal or whether it be an assist. I think Hansi Flick is very calm. I understand that Barcelona have got a very long and difficult season, and at some point you've got to prioritise one or the other. You've got to really prioritise, in my personal opinion, if you're Barcelona, Champions League or La Liga. Now, La Liga, I think for them was pretty much easy for them last campaign. This season, I think Hansi Flick is prioritising the Champions League, and he's doing everything in his power to make sure the team is healthy and basically got a tactical setup to go have success in that competition. But this was a very, very good performance. I give Elche a lot of credit. They obviously had more possession than Barcelona in the game. It doesn't lie. They had 9 shots, which was ridiculous. Managing to strike the post a couple of times, they caused some problems. But Barca had impact from Rashford, from Lopez, from Lamine Yamal, and from Ferran Torres. All your offensive-minded players having an impact in the game makes life a lot easier for Hansi Flick this week as you obviously prepare for a Champions League week. Yeah,
but Barcelona, with the way that they play, I mean, Elche did have some opportunities, so it's not to say that that 3-1 scoreline, that it was all that comfortable for Barcelona, and that those conceded goals have just been an issue. But let's talk about one of the positives, and that is Marcus Rashford, who is just continuing his excellent campaign with Barcelona. He needed a fresh scene. He needed a change of pace, and he's found it here. I mean, just look at these numbers. 14 matches, 6 goals, 5 assists on 3 XG. That's tied most with Torres and Lopez. I mean, what is it, Ian, that you've seen that's been so different about Rashford's game now with Barcelona?
While this is up there, I'm going to put it into perspective. This is the most goal involvements of any La Liga player across all competitions since the beginning of August, okay?
Wow.
Marcus Rashford got 11 right there. You can clearly see it. Who's had more than that? Only Julian Alvarez with 12, 8 goals and 4 assists, and Kylian Mbappe with 18 goals and 2 assists have had more than this guy right here, Marcus Rashford. So that tells you the impact. Now, sometimes a change of scenery helps you. I think sometimes a change of coach. Hansi Flick is excellent in dealing with personnel, understanding human beings and making sure mentally you can connect. It's so important for chemistry, for the chemistry of the locker room. If you want to win a championship and compete for multiple trophies, you need to have every single player buying into what you're selling. And bringing in a Marcus Rashford that many people thought was a broken Marcus Rashford, and being able to recognise that maybe if I get him under my wing, I can potentially bring him back to life. And by the way, he is flourishing because of it. If you give him trust, if you give Marcus Rashford the opportunity to show you in return that faith that you've shown in him, he will provide for you. I think he's a better player with better players around him. That's what I'm going to leave it at. If you put Marcus Rashford in a top-class team, he will become a better player. Same thing happened, obviously, with his time at Manchester United. With better players around him at United, he was a better player. He was more impactful. When you took that talent away and the confidence started to drop, everyone started to look at Rashford. At Barcelona, you don't need to do that because you've got many other talented players who are around you who are all flourishing. Now, of course, I'm going to go back to it. He probably thrives in this environment, okay? Because you've got a Marcus Rashford who came through a fabulous academy, the great Manchester United academy. If you look at this Barcelona squad, 12 of the squad came through La Masia. So there's a unity there. And that's something that Marcus Rashford is used to, having young players buying into what the coach and the club are selling them. All he needed to do was just simply fit in, and he's made it look absolutely wonderful. And in many ways, he makes Barcelona
better. And it's not always an easy thing, though. I mean, it's still a different club, a different culture, different tactics, style, different players, language. All of those things have to be considered. So based on what you've seen so far, I mean, what is the ceiling for Marcus Rashford? I love the point that you make, too, about maybe not having as much of that pressure on his shoulders. He looks like he's just playing free and having fun. And so it's like he's always been in there somewhere. They just had to find the right environment for him.
Also the right position, right? Because at times at United he was playing as a centre forward and he was playing out of position. He didn't want to play there. He wanted to play on the wing. He's better on the wing for Barcelona, but he can move in multiple positions. He can back up Lewandowski. He can play as a wide player. He can drop in as a number 10. And basically they're asking Marcus Rashford to do what he wants to do and what he loves doing best, and that's get possession of the ball and create opportunities. There was one instance though, and that actually tells me the respect he's got from within this group. De Jong had made an unbelievable run through the middle, and Rashford selfishly was looking to go to goal for himself. And had he lifted his head up the Barcelona way, you would have seen that run, and it would have been a simple, tactical Barcelona goal. So there's little creaks that he needs to have in his game to improve, to get better, to understand the foundation, what it means to play for Barcelona, and the style that they play, the passing game. Sometimes he's got to just improve on that. But when he gets there, he's going to be unbelievable and might even be unstoppable. This has been a great move for player. It's been a great move for club so far. Both are helping each other out improve, I think.
Yeah, well, the goal scoring has been far from the problem for Barcelona. All of their issues have really, Ian, been on defense. And you said that for Hansi Flick, the focus is going to be on going the distance in Champions League. That's going to be the priority. Going to be really tough if you're giving up goals at the rate that Barcelona are to go the distance when you're going to inevitably face teams like Arsenal, like Bayern Munich. I mean, in this current iteration of Barcelona, with how they play, do you see them being able to go all the way in Champions League playing with this high line?
I mean, the high line is very suspect, and I think it's been found out in the Champions League, and I also think that Barcelona will continue to improve as the Champions League goes on. They'll get better and better. They've conceded 13 goals already, which is more than Real Madrid, and it's more than Villarreal, and it's more than Atleti, and it's more than Betis, and it's the same as Espanyol. So it tells you they've got defensive problems right there, but they will get better. They've been unhealthy slightly defensively. Obviously, the goalkeeper has been a big issue. They brought in a new goalkeeper to help improve them. Now they've gone back to Chesney because of injury issues, but I do think that Barcelona will be okay. I think they prioritise what they do in the Champions League more than they do La Liga. I think Hansi Flick knows exactly what he's doing in the Champions League. He's got a big game coming up against Club Brugge where you have to get the result. I know they've been obviously tested. The last game against Olympiacos, not so much, but the home game against PSG, they let themselves down, and that high line again caught them out. But I think that this 11 plus the bench, as I mentioned already before, so many products from La Masia coming through the ranks. They're actually fortunate to be able to have the amount of talent that they've got. The financial restraint that they've got, the squad is ridiculously talented. Hansi Flick, no danger to dealing with world-class youth talent, no danger to dealing with world-class experienced talent. He is the perfect example of a leader, and a club like Barcelona needs him at this time. But my oh my, doesn't it help when you've got players like Lamine Yamal running around and doing business. I mean, they're just so good, so dangerous. Fermin Lopez, what an impact he has had, and Ferran Torres, happy for him scoring goals. It's 50 for Barcelona today.
Incredible stuff. Well, speaking of Lamine Yamal, he's running around, making the club look good on and off the pitch. He's like a huge marketing tool for them as well, in addition to what he does on the field. And we were talking earlier just about how different of an environment it is now for managers having to manage players beyond just being a player for that club. It's almost like we've seen a shift where some of these guys, their name alone is, in a way, not bigger than the club itself, but challenges that. And it's kind of a different environment. And Lamine Yamal is a perfect prime example where this guy is always capturing the headlines. It's like bad press, good press, either way, everyone's always talking about him, and then as a result, talking about Barcelona. What kind of challenge do you see that creating for a manager like Hansi Flick, who you think can handle it well, but managers across the board? Yeah,
great question. I mean, let's first and foremost point out the fact that this guy is unbelievable. 17 goals in 80 La Liga matches, which is absolutely insane. Across Europe's top 5 European leagues, only Kylian Mbappe, he scored 23 before turning 19 across Europe's first 5 leagues, or top 5 European leagues. The statistics are there. The talent is there. Being able to handle the talent is not always easy. And I think when Barcelona have gone through problems financially off the field, it's not necessarily easy to be able to bring in the players to help a player like Lamine Yamal develop. So therefore, you're obviously reliant heavily on the one change you can make, which is the manager. Bringing in Hansi Flick, I think, has been absolutely brilliant, because it's not necessarily always been positive news around Lamine Yamal off the field. He's had a few distractions in his time, but I think the authenticity of this Lamine Yamal, who's already won major championships with his country, who's already won domestically with his club, now looking to win internationally with his club team, it's very difficult to control. The youth generation has so much power. They're in the spotlight so much more because of social media and because of 24/7 networks like us. We talk about them 24/7. But when you produce like this kid is producing, it's very difficult to stop the talent from doing all the talking. He's an outstanding player. His statistics simply don't lie. However, I want more. I think the talent within him can produce more assists, more goals, more, in my opinion, dominance of games. Can he become a Lionel Messi? That's what I want to see.
Who does that come down to? Who is it on to get more out of Lamine Yamal? Is it now just on the player himself? Do you feel like Hansi Flick is doing everything in his power to get the best Lamine Yamal possible?
I think it's important for Hansi Flick to have an impact on this. I think it's important for the squad to have an impact on this. Let's not forget, I mentioned it earlier before, 12 players that were in the roster for that game against Elche came through La Masia, right? Yeah. They all grew up with one another. It's up to that team, that chemistry, to be able to keep each other grounded, making sure you remember where you came from and remember what the goal is. The goal is not just to get to Barcelona's first team. The goal at Barcelona always is to change a culture, to entertain, and to be the best you possibly can be, but most importantly, make sure you win titles. If you don't win titles at Barcelona, your time is limited. But I'll tell you what, Lamine Yamal is one of the most entertaining players in world football right now. Give me more.